Today is October 22nd. This is the group for Desiree Robinson's informative speech on the legalization of marijuana. Once all of the members have been seated, we will begin. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Desiree Robinson. I will now begin my informative speech on the usage of medical marijuana. My purpose is to inform the public what medical cannabis is and how it affects a person's overall health and well-being. In addition, the overall purpose is to inform the public of different methods of consuming medical marijuana, and not to mention its helpful benefits, its side effects, and legalization of this drug. In addition to this, the main importance of medical marijuana ties down to its beneficial remedies to help people cope with chronic diseases and illnesses. We all have heard what marijuana is. For those who do not, it's formerly known as cannabis sativa or cannabis indica. Marijuana and cannabis is used interchangeably. The origin of this plant comes from the hemp plant of the forests of Central and Southeast Asia. The active ingredient is called delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, formerly known as THC. This is what gives you the high once you smoke it or eat marijuana, whichever you prefer. In today's society, the cultivation of marijuana has spread all over the world. It was introduced in 1611 as a major commercial product. Marijuana became known as a pharmacopoeia drug in the United States until 1942. So by 1970, the 91st United States Congress constituted the Controlled Substance Act, classifying marijuana as a Schedule I drug. Despite public views on prohibiting the use of marijuana as a medical drug, that has changed in the United States. Marijuana is now used medically and recreationally in the United States and some states. Consequently, some states in the United States prohibit the consumption or use of marijuana in any shape or fashion. Now that you have learned a little history on marijuana, I will now discuss the benefits and side effects. The use of medical marijuana helps relieve patients' symptoms that suffer from chronic diseases and illnesses. Just to name a few types that marijuana help treat are HIV and AIDS, glaucoma, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's, and epilepsy. The symptoms that marijuana helps to alleviate are pain, inflammation, seizures, and tremors. The health risks that marijuana can affect are your lungs, your heart. You can become dizzy. You can have shorter breath. The psychological effects that marijuana have are anxiety. You can become depressed. You can hallucinate. You can also be mentally impaired. Marijuana can be consumed. Like if you smoke it, you can eat it. You can take the pill. It can be vaporized, and it also can be liquefied. Secondly, in some states of the U.S., marijuana has been medically and recreationally utilized through dispensaries, which are legal facilities that are authorized by local and state laws. It permits the selling and and the use of marijuana under certain policy, rules, and regulations. In order to obtain medical marijuana through dispensaries, dispensaries must have state or local approval. They must abide by all rules and regulations set by that state's local laws. You must have authorized you must have an authorized marijuana identification card. You must be registered through a registry database for primary caregivers, and must have recommendation from a licensed physician for medical use. Thirdly, with the utilization of marijuana, legislation has granted certain states such as Washington and Colorado, which were the first to legalize marijuana for medical and recreational use without any sort of regulation. Just to name a few states that have certain rules and regulations on marijuana are Nevada, Oregon, Colorado, Connecticut, New Jersey, and Delaware. In closing, the use of medical marijuana is beneficial to many individuals all over the world. The use of this cannabis plant for medical purposes has changed the naysayers' perspective of how beneficial marijuana can be to one's health. Some states disagree with the production of marijuana dispensaries for allowing the consumption of this drug. Many Americans believe and want the use of medical marijuana to be legalized due to its helpful medical benefits to help retain and better certain chronic illnesses and diseases. Thank you for listening.
And this concludes the informative speech on the legalization of marijuana. Thank you.